When you're at work or any time in life, do you focus on all the things that are going well, all the strengths that you have, all the abilities that you have, or do you focus on what's not there? If you're like most people, the tendency is to focus on the problems and the lack. And what we're going to focus on these two shows this week is on what we call appreciation or asset-based leadership. How can you focus on your abilities, your assets, your strengths, and leverage those to move forward? I'm Ravi Tangri. This is my co-host, Holly Duckworth. Welcome to Presence, How to Live and Lead Consciously. And this is the Power Show. Every Tuesday, you get this for free. This is a 7-minute dive into the key concepts with some powerful tools for you. Thursdays, we have available by subscription our deep dive show that is takes you even deeper into what this is and with some more powerful ways to move it forward. And for November and December, you can get the deep dive show for free if you subscribe to our Power Show on iTunes. Just look us up, Presence, or by Holly's name or my name on the on iTunes. So Holly, you had some snow last night. Wow.
For snow in Denver, yes, we had about 2 inches of snow. It's beautiful. You know what I love about when it snows is there's just something about how the world slows down, warms up, and becomes a little more loving when it snows. And certainly in light of all the changes in the world, now is a great time to appreciate ourselves, appreciate the changes, the diversity, the difference. And I had a really long, beautiful walk out in the snow last night, just to remember sometimes nature is a good messenger for us. Today's show, asset-based leadership. You know, these shows every week, Ravi, they somehow show up in my life, and I know they show up in your life too. And today's quote I really liked is, when you are totally at peace within yourself, nothing else can shake you, by Deepam Chatterjee. When you are totally at peace with yourself, nothing can shake you. And I think that as we look at bringing presence and consciousness into the workplace, it's requiring us as leaders to become so committed to who and what we are, what strengths we bring into the world, that we can inspire those around us. And it's also about honoring strengths of people who are different than us. We've talked a lot about, the diversity of teams, and that sometimes we need somebody who's a professional spokesperson, and we need somebody who's an accountant. And asset-based leadership takes us to the heart of that message.
And what this is about is, we're a society of problem solvers. We focus on problems, what's lacking, what's missing. And what we lose in that is all the strengths that come to bear. And for example, if just a really quick test, if you're to look around you right now, everywhere around you, pick out everything you can see that's red. Okay, so pick out everything that you can see that's red, right? Now, close your eyes for a moment and name 3 things that are blue. How easy is that?
Not easy at all.
Not easy, because all you were doing was seeing red. So if we're focused on problems, guess what you find? More problems. You never look at what you got. So what we want to do is start focusing on the blue and start looking at instead of what's not there, what are the strengths, abilities, the assets that you have, that your team has, and how can you leverage them? And in the deep dive show, we're going to dive a lot more into this and into strengths-based leadership, but there's some real core tips we have for you now in the Power Show. So
I think we start out with seeing the best in you so you can see the best in your team. And people who study this, there's the Strengths Finders book, there's the work of Core Clarity. I'm a big fan of Emergenetics. I think sometimes we get too wrapped up in, oh my gosh, we have to buy the expert's book, or we have to, hire a big speaker or facilitator. And while, Ravi and I certainly can bring any of those tools to your business, I actually think sometimes it's just easier to just list off what are the things that you're really great at. I have an activity I do where we give everybody a pad of Post-it notes, and they write down, a word or something positive about all their coworkers. And then everybody walks around and they put the Post-it notes on the back of the person.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of confidentiality there. And then, each one gets a buddy, and they take those strengths off and start to look at who they are. So this doesn't have to be overthought in terms of what are my strengths. Go with that gut.
Not rocket science.
Not rocket science.
Yes. Yeah, and so and the other thing I temper that with is not just what are your strengths, but what are your passions and how do they align? Because just because you're good at something doesn't mean you're passionate about doing it. So I always work at both, right? And something, again, we're going to get into more into the deep dive show is where some of this comes from, something called asset-based community development, from community development. And some of the steps that they go through in terms of building capacity are, number one, looking at what are the skills. So the skills from work, from community that everybody has, internet knowledge, it could be listening, it could be carpentry, whatever, right? What are the skills they have? What are the community skills, so that what are the things people do outside of work that they may actually be able to bring those in to work with? Enterprising interest and experience. So what are possible past businesses they've been involved with, other ideas they've had to do things? And then the other thing is personal information. Are there things that people really like or have wished they could do? So those are, the 4 quick checklists that you can go through for yourself, but also for your team, and then start to saying, how could we apply these things? What have we not brought into the workplace?
I had a fun way. I was working with a client this week, and they asked me, Holly, what's your superpower? And I thought that was a really funny thing, but I had an instant reaction to that. So that might be another way you could explore this in your company, or even with your life partner is, what's your superpower and how can you do more of that?
Absolutely.
So this is our short show. I like to call it the Power Show, 7 minutes on how to know who you are and utilize your assets in a powerful way to create the presence you want in the world. We invite you this month in November. The shows are going to be free, but you need to subscribe on iTunes, and certainly you can watch us on Facebook or on YouTube as well. But know that just 4 more shows in December, 4 more weeks of free shows. Then you'll get the Power Show for free. And then the Deeper Dive Show, there'll be a nominal membership fee for. So we look forward to sharing with you the Deep Dive Show on this later this week.
And we will see you on Thursday. Thanks, Saul.